teenagers' lives. The pop music of this country was very watery and weak and not really worth talking about. People like Cliff Richard, people like this. And fashion was the first thing, and just aggression from people, you know, and kids, you know, just sort of fighting and things like that. And United States of America was the leader for everything in England, you know. We used to look to the States for everything, for our fashions and for our music. And then all of a sudden, you know, England's fashions and England's sort of directions all sort of started to close in, so that the kids in England were thinking for themselves, you know, and they were beginning to sort of build up their own ideas about fashion and build up their own ideas about music, and instead of copying and doing everything from the States. And the first thing that really figured, I think, was the Beatles' influence, you know, which I remember as a big lift in this country when the Beatles arrived, you know, with their sound and their image and everything. And from then on, a thousand different sort of things arose. Fashion, the mod fashion thing in England arose, which was very, very big, you know, and it's only just beginning to die out now. The English group music thing also arose, where groups not only were performing their own stuff compact on the stage, they didn't need anyone else, they just had the four blokes with their amplifiers, guitars, and they could do the lot. They also wrote their own material, you know, which was a sort of a new thing altogether, you know. London had something because it had a kind of respect for good music, which was probably what's led it through the group thing, and that the Beatles coming through as big as they were enlarged this respect of what could be called good music, you know, rather than sort of empty stuff that had been going around before. And people in London started to like rhythm and blues, you know, which is essentially a good form of music. Groups started to play it, and there was an audience for rhythm and blues, and there was then an audience for sort of original groups, you see, because the pattern had been set by the Beatles, and then you could vary from there, you know. And also at the same time there was this vast impact of teenagers unifying into this big mass which people call mods, you know, and you know, sort of all becoming one sort of unified force, you know, all going for something new, you know.